Gina, can you just talk about two things, Ashlynn Shade and the way she's progressed this season, and then in the third quarter, I mean, your freshmen and sophomores scored 27 of your 30 points and kind of blew the game open there for you. Just how that whole group has kind of matured a little bit, at least since the preseason.
Yeah, little by little. I mean, it takes time. The the things you learn as a freshman, hopefully, help you as a sophomore either be better at the things that you weren't so good at, add to the things that you were already pretty good at. I think that's our job as coaches also, to try to make sure that every player adds at least one thing to their game each year. I never quite understood why her personality was one thing and her game was a different way. So I think that's starting to kind of come together. You know, she's an aggressive kid by nature. She's an athletic kid by nature. She's strong. And I don't think last year she took advantage of any of those things. And she's made a concerted effort to do that. And I think the more our young players practice with us, the more Paige keeps talking to them and gives them tremendous confidence in themselves. You know, they're gamers. That's the only way you can explain, you know, how quickly they've picked up some things. I mean, there were some plays that both Sarah and Morgan made that, you know, they look like grown-up plays. They don't look like, you know, freshman plays. And as Allie gets more minutes, you know, there'll be things that she'll do. So, you know, you want them to get better, a little better every game, and today was a perfect example of that.
What did you like about your guys' facilitating tonight? Especially, I know she had the rough start, but Caitlin, seven assists. Is that what you want from her, or would you prefer a little bit more?
I mean, it's hard to get more than 7, you know, because we have a lot of people that touch the ball, a lot of people that pass the ball. I like for her to get more creative with the ball, you know. I think there's times when, I mean, we started the game with her making a great play, you know, on that bounce pass to Ice. And she's either all into throwing that a pass or all into I'm scoring no matter what. And there's got to be a little bit of a nuance there of when to, you know, I can look like I'm trying to score, but I'm, you know, conscious of that pass that I'm going to throw. And I think as we keep on her about you don't have to pick up your dribble and then hope that the right person makes the right cut or that you find somebody open. A lot of times that does happen, but I like to see her keep the ball alive a little bit longer. She's played a lot of basketball. I trust her. I trust her to make decisions, and whatever decision she makes, I'm okay. And we'll talk about it after. You know, she's not one of these kids that is checking with me to see, should I pass it, should I shoot it, you know. So I've got tremendous confidence in her.
22 points for Paige on 10 shots tonight. Just how close was that first half to, you know, the aggressive version of her that you're hoping to see?
Yeah, I you know, we scripted about 3 or 4 plays, 5 plays maybe before we came out, and we wanted to get some momentum going with her and Sarah, especially those two. But I felt in past years I had to do that, but this year she kind of takes that on her own, puts it on her own shoulders. She is attacking the basket way more often. She's only going to be in college a couple more months, so the referees are running out of time to actually call the times that she gets smacked in the face or, gets hit on every bucket. So if they're waiting to surprise her, on senior night, I'd like for them to start calling them a little bit earlier.
Coach, you ended the first half on a 16-4 run and then shot over 80% from the field in the third quarter. What does that mean to you heading into such a big game later this week?
Good teams, you guys are actually asking me questions about things that we actually talked about at halftime. Sometimes that's not the case, but the things that I said right after the game were good teams generally don't detract from themselves. When they find something that is good, they build on it. When someone comes off the bench, they add to what we're doing. And today, we went into halftime on a little bit of a run, and when we came out, we added to it. And that's exactly what you want to see. That's what good teams do. They don't come out flat in the second half. Now, it's early in the season, don't get me wrong. I could be completely opposite next Friday, but I like that we kept adding to what we were doing. That was really good. We want to kind of keep that process.
Yeah, more than twice as many twos as threes. I know Paige posting up. Is that what you want to see? There's going to be days when the three-pointer's not there, and just diversify it and get her down low and get the other players maybe to attack the basket.
Yeah, I like to think that if you want to get 25 threes every night, you can do it. You just have to not pass any of them up, and the ball has to keep moving. At the same time, I've got a player like Paige who doesn't want to just settle for that. She wants to be able to go where she wants to go with the ball, and if she wants to post up, she posts up. If she wants to drive it, she drives it. If she wants to shoot it, she shoots it. So we kind of follow her lead in that regard. Today, we were able to get a lot of touches in the lane, which is good. I'd still like to maybe get 25 or so threes every night. But I know a bucket's a bucket. And if you're shooting 75, 80%, just keep shooting twos, right? They add up after a while.
Geno, with a little more depth this year and more coming, do you have a little bit more of a comfort level when Paige does have to sit down and take a break?
I'm still working on that, Gav. I'm still working on that. I'm not 100% confident or completely secure in knowing that we can, but I'm gonna, as the early part of the season, I'm gonna find out how much we can. I do it in practice a lot. And I know I'm going to have to do it in games. And that's going to force others to step up. Like we said in the third quarter, even though Paige was out there in the third quarter, a lot of other people did a lot of the damage. Again, the fourth quarter, it's, sometimes, I like to see us be a little more cohesive, but that's what you get with a lot of the, when you have a lot of players and you throw them in there and you expect it to look like a certain way, it won't. And sometimes, like in the third quarter, it will, but only because she was out there. So now, can it look a little bit like that when she's not? Yeah, that's the next goal. That's the next goal.
Geno, how would you describe Ashlynn's physical gifts, it seems like there's something very consistent and repeatable about the way the ball comes off her hand when she shoots, something very consistent about how hard she runs to get out ahead of the pack. There's just, seems like a lot of her game is born of good habits over time. I don't know.
Yeah, mostly. I do believe that players need to play in college the way they played in high school. You got to show the reason why you were recruited. So, she led the EYBL the whole summer tour in scoring, which means this is what I do for a living. I put the ball in the basket. And so that's a comfort level that she has. And the only time it gets kind of short-circuited is when her brain short circuits. And she, for whatever reason, strays from what her strengths are. Because when she stays with them, like she has been the last couple of games, she's a very confident, very aggressive player that knows this is where I like to get my shots from. And, we have enough other scorers on the floor now that it opens up a lot more things for her than were available last year.
Just what did you think of Ice tonight?
I thought last game and this game, I thought Ice defensively was good. I think she's she's not making shots right now. She's been struggling with it in practice as well, but I think defensively and being the only one that played last year, she has to be able to give us some things that the other two are trying to catch up on. But I think she's been really solid and she's been really patient. She's going to make some of those 15, 17 footers, which would really, really change how we play. But I've been really happy with, she's given us the things that we really, really need. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. And I know Sarah can shoot from the perimeter. Jenna swears to me that she can. I don't know. Maybe she should write it down. I could probably understand. I could probably read Arabic better than I can understand her, and I can't do either. So she keeps telling me that she can make those, 3-pointers. I believe it when I see it. It'd be a miracle. It'd be like a bigger miracle than the pyramids if she makes a 3.
Coach, going back to Caitlin, 3 of her 4 turnovers were in the first half, and 2 of her 3 fouls were in the first half. Obviously, something you probably don't like. What was the message to her going to the final 20 minutes, considering that she didn't turn over the ball as much, or she stayed out of foul trouble in the second half?
Yeah, the things about whatever a player's strengths are, that's also what's going to get them in trouble, So it just takes time to fit into the style of play that we have and the system of play that we have, and how the way our defense is structured is a little bit different than the way she's used to playing at Princeton. So it's taken some time to get used to it. And she's another one that's very aggressive by nature, and those people tend to foul more times than not, and it becomes a discipline thing. The turnovers, with again, I think we alluded to that with Caitlin. They're headstrong kind of turnovers. They're just impulsive things that with time are going to get taken care of. And as I said, I'm not worried. I think she's done a phenomenal job, and she's going to keep getting better. All right, thanks, guys.
Paige, Ashlynn had a steal and a basket late in the third quarter, and then when that quarter actually ended, it seemed like you were pretty pumped up to greet her and grab her by the shoulders and the head. What was going on in your mind in that moment, and just what did you think of her play overall?
Just to see her growth on the defensive side of the ball. Coach is hard on all of us when it comes to our defense, but he's hard on Ashlynn about taking risk, getting out in the passing lanes, being aggressive, causing commotion. And if you watch the game tonight, she did exactly all of those things. So just to see her hard work all the times, Coach gets on her, I get on her. The whole team needs her to be like that on the defensive end. So it was just like to see it was amazing. Super proud of her. And that's who we want Ashlynn to be every single night. And so to just instill that confidence within her that this is what she does and that's who she is now, that she showed it. But super proud of her. Just wanted to, like, as much as I want to challenge my teammates, I want to support them too. So when she performs like that, I want to give her the acknowledgement. And yeah, she was just flying around, being everywhere tonight. It was like 7 Ashlyns out on the court.
Paige, was this like the perfect type of game for you? You took control in the first half the way he wants you to so much, but then in the third quarter, you're out on the court and everybody else is making plays around you, scoring around you. I mean, is that the way you want to see this team kind of respond to you?
Yeah, definitely want to start out every game aggressive, set the tone for what we want the rest of the game to look like. But everybody was just getting touches. Everybody was playing defense, which led to transition buckets. And it just happened naturally. Like nobody was taking over or playing one-on-one. We were playing as a team, playing together, getting everybody involved. And so I think it just happened naturally. But, of course, I want to start out games aggressive, scoring the ball, but also getting my teammates involved too. So I think it was, a really perfect recipe for what happened tonight.
Ashlynn, you hit the buzzer beating 3 at the end of the first half, and I think that kind of provided a spark for you. You kind of blew up during the second half. What was the message? What was the message that Coach sent to you in the locker room, then going into that third quarter and fourth quarter where you just kind of took over?
His message to the team was just to keep the momentum going. Like, the game's not over. We play a full 40 minutes. Like, just because we're up now doesn't mean we can't really step on the gas even more and keep pressuring them and keep getting after it on offense and defense.
Ice, 4 or 5 day from you today shooting. Just did you feel like you were starting to get your shot back a little bit today?
Yeah, I would say starting to shoot around, focusing on that, like Paige said, just bringing the energy, flowing with the offense and, not forcing anything and letting those looks, show up themselves. And then, just letting it fall and be confident that's going to go in. But, definitely starting to shoot around today.
Ashlynn, Coach just told us your personality is much less aggressive than your game is. What do you think has let you kind of unlock that side of yourself more on the court this year than you were able to last year?
I think I feel more comfortable, more confident this year than I did last year. I'm not thinking as much. I'm more sure of myself. And I think that's like reflecting on playing more free and more aggressive and not like, because when I would overthink, then that just kind of like makes you more hesitant like playing. So like being more free and just kind of being in that mindset has really helped me out this season.
For you, Paige, and you mentioned it earlier, and Geno's mentioned it too, that he's seen you go and give your teammates more pointers more than normal. Why is that important to you, especially with this new assertiveness that you want to play with?
Right now, who we have playing, you look out on the court, and it's me. Kaylin has the next most experience, but this is her first year playing at UConn, and then it's all freshmen and sophomores. So I have a lot more experience. I feel like I have a lot of knowledge for the game. I watch it a ton. I have a high IQ, so I want to be able to share it with my teammates and not just like demand things out of them. I want to teach them as well, like why I'm saying this or why coach is saying this and what does it do for our team? How does it contribute to winning? Because I feel like when you explain and not just demand and say like do this, do that, but why, I feel like it hits home more. And so definitely just using my voice, also by doing it by example and leading that way. And so just finding a combination of both.
Ashlynn, has it been a matter of keeping things simple at all? Coach was saying about your success over these 2 games that he sees a player who understands you're at your best when you don't stray from your strengths, and he also sees a player who is kind of understanding like, all right, this is where I know I want to get my shots.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely like seeing it more this year, like being like more comfortable in the offense, knowing like the reads and like what we're looking for and how I'm able to get to like my bread and butter, like of what I'm best at and most comfortable doing. And that just, I mean, it's all about the team though. I mean, it doesn't matter like how like I'm doing, it's how the team is doing, how we're flowing on offense, and the rest just creates for itself.
We kind of asked you at the media availability like a few weeks ago what your goal was for the season. You said like wait for like the second or third game. Do you have your goal for the season set yet?
Oh, I did tell you obviously the team goal, but just to honestly just keep pushing myself to be better every game and keep trusting myself and having confidence. I know that my teammates expect a lot out of me, my coaches do, but sometimes I have trouble, really holding myself to that. But just remembering, we're all here for a reason. We're all UConn players. Coach tells us that every day, and just carry myself with that confidence that a UConn player does. So honestly, I would say that's my goal is to keep really, holding myself to that expectation and believing in myself, my teammates, and just trusting the process.
Paige, 3 of Caitlin's 6 assists in the first half were to you. Just how do you feel like that connection between the two of you has developed so early on?
Yeah, it definitely came with time. A lot of reps in the preseason, playing with each other, playing pickup, and also just learning each other's game. I feel like she's done a really good job of adapting to her sort of new role here. She's a scorer, as am I, but she's done a really great job of finding our teammates, getting us into the offense, just controlling our pace on offense and defense. So I would say it's like her adaptability and her knowledge of the game. Like I said, she's very experienced. She played at Princeton, which is sort of like an offense like ours with Berube, going to UConn as well. But she knows the game, extremely smart, and then she finds me in transition when I'm running the floor up the sideline, and does a really great job of distributing the ball. Thank you.
Thank you.